and welcome to Beyond the Buyer. Today I'm joined by Susan Routledge, a multi-award-winning salon owner, international business consultant and trusted industry advisor. Susan has been in the beauty industry for over 38 years and is recognised in the top UK industry influencers for her passion and dedication. Susan has her own clinic in County Durham, which she's had for over 35 years now, and it is the largest independent beauty salon in the northeast of England. She's also one of the directors on the professional board for Babtac, helping to represent and raise industry standards for the beauty industry. She's the founder of her own trademarked stable business formula, plus the author of a number of books, and that is what we are going to get stuck into today, talking book magic with Susan. Susan, you have written loads of books, haven't you? Tell us about them.
Yeah, I've got a bit of a book.
One or two.
A book bug. It all started probably around about 2016 when I first wrote the first book. And what happened was I had this intention of writing a big book, and at that time it was going to be on right from starting a salon right the way through, because I'm obviously the salon industry, right from the starting a salon right the way through to exiting and everything in between. So it was going to be
an encyclopedia.
It was. So what I did was I did the first couple of chapters and put them out for review. And everyone was like, oh, they're brilliant, brilliant. And then when I started like grilling in a little bit more into like what they liked and things, I was thinking, you haven't read this. Or you haven't read it properly.
Oh, rude.
So then when I grilled in further and looked at what industry books in my industry they'd read, they just skimmed through those as well. So what transpired from it was that they just kept saying, we just want to know what to do and what not to do. So I thought, oh, well, that's easy. So the first book I did was called The Little Book of Client Retention. And it's just 50 things to do and not to do to retain clients. And then when that got released, everyone just loved it. So, when I've spoken in Dubai and places like that, someone will go, I've still got your book in my bag, because it's just a little book. And now I think there's copies in America and all over. So it's really, really been great. Then from there, during lockdown, I got invited to do a book with JP, with Jean-Pierre de Villiers, on Your Best Life. And it was co-authors. So it was a book where there was short stories. Everyone wrote a short story and submitted it and made up a whole book about everyone's best life. And I loved that, absolutely loved the concept of that. And that went to bestseller. And then from there, during lockdown, I have a membership called Beauty Directors Club with some fantastic salon owners, and you never ever get to tell your story. So I said to them, I got them all on a call, and I said, I've got this idea to do a book where we can all tell our own stories and give our own tips and what we've learned to inspire others. And I thought, they'll all just go away and think about. By the time I got off the call, I had all these emails going, I'm in. So the first book we did with 22, and it's called Beauty and the Best. So it's stories, all the journeys of the ups and downs of starting a business and where they've all got to with their businesses. It got so well received. Again, it went bestseller around the world. So from there, we got asked to do a second one. So we went ahead and did Beauty and the Best 2 with another 22. And, there's so many people that have said, like salon owners and even students thinking of going into the industry, they've said how inspiring it's been just to listen to everyone's story. But I think the secret to it as well is that it's just, everyone does 1,500 words. And that is just so great because it's just something you can read one story, put it down, pick up another story, put it down kind of thing. So I really, really like that idea. And then from there, I also did one with Sammy Blindell on resilient women in business, and that's a series. And then I've got some plans to do some other ones too.
So you've done 4?
Yes. Wait on. 1, 2, 3, 5. Little Book of Client Retention, Your
Beauty
Best
and the
Life,
Beast.
Two
Oh,
Beauty and
Best Life,
Best,
yeah.
yeah. And
Blimey. And you mentioned there that at least one of them had become an international bestseller. How did that feel?
fantastic. But I think what as well makes it so good is because you've got so many people talking about it when you've got like a co-authored book. There's so many people talking about it and putting it on their socials and things. And yeah, when it went to bestseller, it's just such a buzz. And then when it went to bestseller in one country, and then another country, then another country, and it all seems to happen very, very quickly. So it's, the excitement around it.
How did you
so good.
celebrate?
Well, it was during lockdown, so we
great.
had
Went for a walk.
we had a party online for all the authors. But the thing is with books, it just opens so many doors as well, because for all of the authors in the multiple author books, it's something you always want to do is write a book, but they would probably never, ever have done it. And I think when you've got everyone together and egging them on, that it was such a buzz to do that and to do both of those books and to do the other ones. I've really, really enjoyed that.
I've not spoken to anyone yet that has co-authored a book other than I spoke to a duo where they wrote it together, but not to the extent where there's 22 co-authors. It sounds like that was quite a positive experience for you.
It was. And obviously it's getting everyone on board and saying, right, we've got this deadline. Everything's got to be done by this deadline. And everyone was like swapping stories and getting everyone else to read their stories and things. And, it's led on to so many other things. I mean, in a few weeks' time, I'm doing a 2-day event in Manchester, but 6 of the authors we're going to have on stage talking about their journey and how they've developed their business, and some of them have been on the radio. So there's so many opportunities from writing books.
So those kind of opportunities have come off the back of them writing the book then?
Yeah, totally. As I say, it's a great process. When I did like the little book of client retention, I self-published that and did that myself. And that was quite a lonely process. So there's 2 sides to it, but great experiences, and it just raises your profile so much. It gives you so much credibility.
Do you ever package in any of your books with speaking engagements?
Totally. I always take books along. I always do sort of a bit of a giveaway. Even if, I meet someone new, I'll send them a little gift of a book kind of thing. To me, you don't write a book to make money, I don't think.
And have you made money on any of your books?
Not really, no. Some, but not life-changing. But, as I say, the credibility piece and just someone having something that you've put all your effort into, it's very special for them as well, I think. You do. If someone gives you a book, it's so special, isn't it?
It really is. And you're always going to keep that or possibly pass it on to somebody else. So it's a really nice thing. And I love that whole posting it out. I know certainly with my books, I've always sent them out to certain people with a nice note in it. And things like that are really lovely to be able to do, right?
Really, really special. Really lovely.
So you're saying the books haven't made you a millionaire in themselves, but they have led to opportunities. What are some of the best opportunities that your books have led to for you?
I think speaking opportunities, a lot of speaking opportunities, and as well getting you recognised in your industry. I'm recognised for writing the books as well as other things.
Are there many people in your industry that have written books?
Not too many, really. There's some great books out there. There are some really, really great business books. So it's just something, as I say, like getting someone's take. Although business consultant-wise in my industry, there's probably maybe 5 or 6 have written books, but everyone's got that different take. There's always a different slant on something. So it's great just to read everyone's books. I love it.
And when you're actually doing the writing process, how hard or easy is it to actually get those words down and get it into a decent enough shape to be able to publish it?
I think you start with a blank sheet, and sometimes you've got to be in a flow to write. I think you can't force it. You can't think, right, I'm, 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to start and write, because it just needs to be where you are in that flow. What I did beforehand is I would just sit and journal and write things down, write down what I wanted to write about, and then start and put it into some kind of format. And then I find that it flows quite easily. It's when it's all in your head and you need to get it out of your head and onto paper. I find that it's easiest just to make lots and lots. I just walk around with notepads, just writing down all of the time things that I think of and things that I learn. And then,
And do you find it easier to write in big sort of blocks of time, or are you a little and often type author?
Little and often, I am. But saying that, really, the books that I've done have been to the format that I got told that someone wants to just know and not know what to do. So I have got plans to write a big book like I'd originally started. I have got plans to do that. So I'm not quite sure how I'm going to feel about that. I'll probably break it down. To me, breaking it down into bite size. So it'll be breaking it down into the chapters first, then into the sections, what goes in each section, and then it's a little bit putting a jigsaw back together again. So,
and I think with you having already written so many books, you'll find that a lot less daunting than perhaps if you'd started with that one, which obviously was the original plan.
Yeah. But I always have so many ideas. I've probably got another 5 books that I want to do. It's just getting the time.
And how long would you say it takes to write a book?
With the little book of client retention, that didn't take very long.
How many words is that one?
It's basically a A6 size, and it's 50 pages apart from the front and back cover. So I haven't actually done a word count on it. It's not a great amount. I actually wrote that in a weekend.
Wow.
And there's 2 more, the little book series. Really, I want it to be a series of 6. So the next one I'm planning is actually the little book of Beauty Business Awards. That I've already got mapped out. So
you just need a weekend to finish it off.
Exactly. So it's just, as I say, mapping it out and then pulling it all together.
When you have been writing your books, what approach have you taken around publishing? You mentioned you self-published one, but you haven't with all of them. How do you decide the best publishing route?
Yeah, the first one with the little book series, I've self-published. With the co-authored books, we used Andrew Priestley, who was been fantastic, who just is a master at getting the right information out of you to get onto paper. And then it's been great because then just pass everything over. So, but I've never gone down a publishing house kind of thing, which I would like to do for the big book.
Have you got any publisher in mind? Have you got a dream one?
Just Hay House.
I knew you were going to say Hay House. I knew it.
Yeah, I love Hay House. Yeah, so I'll put that out there.
And is that because the whole kudos of, hey, it's a traditional proper publisher? Is that what attracts you to it?
No, I think Hay House is just always, from years and years ago, when it was Louise Hay, that was the first book I read on self-development, was one by Louise Hay. So I think Hay House has always, always been sort of in the background kind of thing.
And when you self-published that first one, what was the process like? Was it hard or?
Easy, yeah, really, really simple. I found that quite straightforward. And then obviously it's just getting it uploaded onto Amazon. Obviously you do self-distribution. But I was very lucky with that first book because there was one company in particular for a software. They bought copies for all of their accounts, which was great. So, it just got into the hands of everyone that I wanted it to. They then as well did a run which went to America. So it was, it was great for them to buy a bulk buy kind of thing.
So did you have a relationship with a printer then to get those printed?
Yeah. So it was fairly straightforward, to be honest.
So did you get a whole batch printed and then sort of put a markup on those and send them out?
Doing it that way, it is on volume because it's the setup for the book. So the more you buy, the price comes down. Whereas with Amazon, you can just do the single run kind of thing.
Print on demand, isn't it?
Print on demand, yeah. If you're doing it where you're going to be doing your own distribution, it is on like bulk buy kind of thing. So.
And what, have you got any advice around how do you find a great printer that is going to do great quality and at a good price?
Recommendation, I think, is just asking around and go with someone that has done books before, and as well, I get them to send you some copies, have a look at the quality, have a look at sort of, the finish on them. Yeah, I think you know yourself when you pick up a book and it feels nice and the pages are nice. I think to me, a book as well, it's all around like how it feels as well in your hand.
I agree. Have you had any great experiences with book launches?
Because we did Beauty and the Best, the series of those books during lockdown, we haven't really done a proper book launch, but I would love to. I would absolutely love to.
How would you do it?
Oh, I think just get some really, really nice venue, really, really nice canapes, drinks, invite just some great people along.
Have a proper party.
A proper party.
Proper bash.
You'll be invited, Sophie.
Oh, thank you. I'll be there. 100%. Yeah, I think there's something really nice about doing a book launch. With my second book, that was during lockdown, and I didn't do anything, and it's just not. Yeah. It's not quite the same. Whereas I did it in style with the first one. I had a book launch in Newcastle, one in London as well, and it was a great opportunity to get people together. We had cupcakes with the book cover on, and all sorts of sort of social media friendly things dotted around, and it was just really good fun.
Yeah, and as well, for all the effort you've done for the book, it's just nice to celebrate it, isn't it?
I agree. I think it's really important to mark that, and I think there's loads of content that you can create out of the launch. I think by inviting people that you want to get in front of to the launch, it can generate some fantastic conversations and potential collaboration. So I think it's definitely a to-do.
Oh, definitely. And as well, you're so proud once you've done it. I mean, I think there's so many people who want to write a book who just think that it's going to be too hard and, there's only certain people who write books. Now I think there's so many opportunities and it's become, quite mainstream to be able to do a book. And once you're a best-selling author, nobody can ever take that away from you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you're right. Once someone's got an idea, the only thing that's getting in their way is themselves, really, isn't there? And if anyone's listening that hasn't written a book but has an idea, what advice would you give them to get started?
I would say get a notebook, start jotting things down. What you might think everyone knows, but what's common sense to you isn't to someone else. And, everyone has something to give. And even if you help just one person, I always like to say, even if you help just one person, you'll help a heck of a lot of people. And there's so many people will enjoy what you've written. So get a notebook, start just writing down a few different things. And then once ideas start to flow, then more flow and then more flow. And it gets easier and easier as you get on.
So just get cracking, basically.
Just get cracking.
And on that note, thanks so much, Susan. It's been so inspirational hearing from someone that's written so many books and has a plan for another big one and maybe another 5 after that. So thanks so much. Thank you for listening. If you're serious about growing your profile, take our free profile assessment quiz to see where you're at right now and get hints and tips on how to improve your score. You'll find the link to the quiz in the show notes. If you've enjoyed the episode, it would be mint if you'd subscribe, like, and leave a review. See you next Monday.